Yesterday, I didn't see a Christian. I saw a fake person. A person who has put on a certain facade. And I was a
Nana Yaa, I
yes.
feel as though the words that are, you know, coming from your mouth this morning, can I describe them as scathing? Almost quite...
It is not scathing. I am talking about what I saw with my eyes. I watched it. Do you get me? And this Charlotte, she said it's historic. It's unprecedented.
That's right.
What about Charlotte Osei? She is not a human being. What about the people, for the first time we jailed the Deputy National Security Coordinator? It's not done anywhere in this world. Even in America, when police people do wrong, sometimes they find the reasonable doubt to the highest level to be able to make sure that you deal with it in a certain manner. A Deputy National Security Coordinator holding state secrets was mistreated. What is she talking about? I was even surprised that the media gave her the chance. I don't know if she paid for airtime.
Why were you surprised by that?
Yeah, because
it's historic.
What is historic?
It's the first time
Please,
we're seeing a CJ
why didn't
go through this?
I am telling you, is CJ above the law? The Constitution of the Republic of Ghana does not put any human being above the laws of Ghana. The supreme law of the land gives provision for a judge to be removed. You haven't even gone through the process. Is she guilty? Is she afraid that something is going to happen to her? She's holding on to thin straws. Because if you are not guilty, you have to go through it. Her reference to a 44-year-old incident, yes, it was unfortunate, yet it was dastardly. But some of us went through it. Some of us were affected personally, that the trajectory of the events of those days even affected our lives to this day. Personal. Do you get me? But we don't go back to it. Some people were affected in 1966, ask Auntie Rodalyn. We, the children of the CPP ministers, the people who formed the CPP, the people who fought for the independence of this nation, that in 1966, when there was a coup d'etat orchestrated by the UPNLM tradition, we went through things. Ask Auntie Rhoda, she's older than me. It's possible she experienced some. But we saw the remnants. Do you get me? Right. But when we speak, we don't refer to those days. Those are unfortunate incidents in the history of our lives. So if you say that they've taken you to a certain place and because that is where judge, nobody is going to kill. We are in a democracy. Who is going to kill her? And she said there are threats. What kind of threats? The people who said she should retire and resign, they were saying it because they thought that if she goes through the process looking at whatever petition and whatever is available as evidence, it is possible she might not make it.
She said that there are threats on her. She said that she has been threatened to either resign or retire.
If she's been threatened,
that some harm could come to her if she does not.
Please, who said so? What kind of threat is that? She's always with a policeman. She has all her security detail with her. Some of us, we walk alone. But we are not afraid. Because if you say you're a Christian, I know the church that she goes to. I used to go to that church.
You don't go there anymore?
No, because it's not my church. But when I was living in Sakuma, I didn't have a Baptist church in that vicinity.
Right.
So I used to go to ICGC. Do you get me? We were the people who helped to build that church. We used to worship in a yellow tent. Do you get me? So if you, Reverend Kojo, if you are in Reverend Kojo's church and you behave in this manner, do you get me? Because you want to fight your battle for yourself. As a Christian, that is why I'm saying she's fake. No Christian would go through a process.
Don't you think that's a bit harsh?
It is not harsh because the way she professes herself to be a Christian, and you say you are going through a process, go through the process. You haven't even gone through the middle of the process. You are making excuses. You are talking. You are all over the place, going to court. She is allowing the MPP to mislead her. They are the ones doing this. Don't you see their fingerprints all over what she's doing?
Is it because you saw some key personalities at the press yesterday?
I didn't even watch.
Okay.
Because when I saw her body language, I tried watching her body language, repelled me immediately. Because for me, humility is key.
Nana Yaa, has that maybe veiled your judgment?
It has not veiled my judgment.
Maybe because of her, how you view her demeanor, you are not looking
my
beyond
dear,
or past that.
I'm telling you that I know this woman, no. I've encountered her before. There is no need for me to talk about it. I've talked about a little bit when we were doing the limited registration. I said it, I don't want to repeat it. We sent a case to court. This woman traveled and left the thing. Do you get me? And she started looking at the thing when she came back the day that the limited registration was ending. This is about Ghanaians. Oh. She doesn't even love Ghanaians. And I am surprised she's talking about herself. It is about herself. Talking about how she will lose her emoluments, her retirement benefits, and all that. She's talking about herself. Me, Chief Justice, at the highest level. It is about herself. And anybody for me who speaks about herself but not Ghana or himself, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with you, because Ghanaians are the people who should be looked at.
But me, I to way and radiano, way opposition, Abrana or Power Kufado, Abreast. With the difference, you know, Mude Mummy and Tier 2. The law, it on Casan was smiling, but no one was sending him. I had to say, okay, Yanis, but listen, we are 2 minutes behind Mr. The law is the law, and I'm a member.
No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law.
And radiano, any difference, you know. Bono Kakrama, my wife,
The lodge facility that the hearings are being conducted in.
CIA, thank you. Without into Muya Jumani say Manager Ivan. Yanko.
The kind of mention with Dr. Amia, Holy Family Hospital, your program.
Oh, touching my right.
Fantastic. Medical director. Okay. And Raminya Quenya a press conference in a Kakrabat, Mantibia, because I was very embarrassed and very ashamed looking at Nema na Koso. But Osha Diana Kosona, you could see a visibly shattered woman, or broken and clutching at straws. And some now all cannot be anywhere sabi ubetimi nyansa biya.
Oh.
And for her as a chief justice, I'm for well respect for her and as a for no, they were all acting on a grown woman acting on children's wisdom.
Oh, Ivan.
Also be a when but wisdom now operating no I am cry wisdom. We say cry wisdom so there because Nearman and Augusta no you know. I said why suppose you know set Ghana for tetanus and Nabasa. Mugabe. And what she did yesterday, no, or no ankasa as sealing the fate, she's done. And I am saying that she cannot continue to be Chief Justice. Maybe I the reason why. So ohe Nearman mamene ye and rana. Petition na the Constitution says must be heard in camera, and the actors in it no any right to bring it to public. Actors. The Constitution says that the whole proceedings must be heard in camera. The Chief Justice of the Republic of this country, and the administrative head of the judiciary, it is her job to safeguard the integrity of the judiciary. She's privy to this constitutional provision, but decided, say, a document that is supposed to be a private document and the Constitution explicitly says, say, must be heard in camera, no, or time petition by TV, so no. Eba bekika munsem de kire Ghana for doing that, you know, your position as a chief justice become untenable. Asabra meka no enti committee no proceedings na ekoso no se maame no di bem kura na se osan ba, we can drag her to court for this massive constitutional breach for her to be removed, because adia oya and Nana meka say because she's emotionally your friend saying driven, you know, and she's acting on children's wisdom, no. Onyo who said what she did yesterday, you know, or no ankasa signed the fate, the last nail to the coffin, you know, or the bomenra, because what she did yesterday, you know, was a flagrant abuse of the constitutional provision. That was the destiny must be heard in a way. And again, Mugabe, nsem na ojina man na okeka no you could see conspiracy theories because nothing she said that aya grounded in law because law no you ever say winnim nyansa apa kofa legon regu yam still winnim nyansa you say winnim nyansa apa legon dynasty or pa kofa no fatweti anopa wi e ma wu nyansa because nsem na oka no the poverty of intellect, logic, any reason I will you begin to ask yourself mommy when I know a chief justice because in some now can be hot for instance or say Edu's lodge modern corner intimidating. Who cares about your personal emotions? Who cares about your personal emotions? You don't call your friends Edu's lodger. You are talking about somebody you are being accused and the constitutional process has been set in motion. You don't determine where that particular proceeding should happen.
Whether be an
state, and they choose you. And at the end of the day, where they choose, has nothing to do with now. Edu's lodge now will be to her. What kind of nonsense is this? But because she's arrogant, she doesn't see say Nemana or
arrogant.
Oh, very arrogant, very despicable, filthy, arrogant character. And because and yes, sir, and can know how can you do this? Because again, process now air cost, it's emotion. You are part of the process. You've not disconnected yourself from the process. Judges she's casting some kind of a spin on the judges, especially Justice Ponamine, because the reason is Daniel Ford no de asema ba
Supreme Court ansana mamebe wo.
Wonati
2016 no otesu.
Osepuna man na ote a case no so no adi asem ama Daniel Ford pen ama Daniel Ford adibem. Justice Asiedu na no issue no mo de court no wadibi enti no enu enti no omonye ya friend say ombaye bias. But this is a Chief Justice, the administrative head of the judiciary. We make sure say people no will be integrity-driven individual. Honesty and candor will be on their part. Now, you as a Chief Justice cannot guarantee the honesty and the integrity of the people you are working with. And you want the ordinary Ghanaian to guarantee that particular thing. And I make us say, some now so what's now rationally, if you want to put it on the table and analyze her, you could see clearly say, and she rather exposing herself. And again, one accusation or kind say, shining star no crown or court registrar we are. There is nowhere in the constitution that says say group at the petition president that they should be a registered group. There is nowhere in the constitution that says a mutual petition president even medin crime function. But it is only fair say you breach the principles of natural justice in anonymity. No, I'm saying there is nowhere in the constitution that says trump petition president you remove go and read the constitution. It is nowhere say even your name should be there. But in implementing it, we are human beings. You cannot accuse somebody without knowing your accusers, and it's the reason why I am making sure say okay be known. Some able to verify. But that is why I want whistleblowers and sometimes proceedings to me cause but we're able to deal with the issue to the logical conclusion. I'm not a lawyer, but look at this coherent analysis that I'm making. But this is a Chief Justice, and she's making all this nonsense of allegation, just trying to build up conspiracy theories. Sabia Ghana for me say she's being hounded. Adia Oyen and running was a smear campaign directing at John Mahama, just trying to shop public attention. Sabia man for me say be beatia, but one near my why
Tim.
Oh, me say
dead on arrival.
She's just a small piece of the bigger judicial puzzle now. Try to solve she's insignificant. Yes, she's insignificant. She's just a small piece of the larger puzzle. And because the average Ghanaian now who call for sympathy, is concerned about the integrity of our judiciary. And for me, where I sit as a Ghanaian, in recent time, when I look at the Supreme Court, rulings every Supreme Court, a market woman at Makola can look at it and say, there is no sense in the ruling. For instance, how can you tell me it's a birth certificate and yet your friend is saying primary document, but travel document are a passport. If you are not traveling, you don't need a passport. Travel document in a private passport. How can you be sensible as a judge and make this particular ruling? These are things that amount for losing trust and confidence in the judiciary. And again, my man Ankasani doing. And she's talking about your friends say integrity. Yantia Akufo-Addo ko appointee obi a oye field parliamentary candidate of the NPP in the person of George Jau. E man betena panel so. Issue no buy Gau, issue no buy no. Your friend is saying, sorry, LWC concern about Chief Justice Kachira and say, proceeding na e koso no, enye political issue. I'm asking her, say, proceeding na e koso ene no. Is it a political issue? Because Daniel Ford is not a politician. Police in India or this should look like a politician. Shining Star and a politician. So what is a problem? And again,
I mean, to when you be defending to say a former attorney general, NPP for any idea.
Oh, then I said I don't know that Mogabi. My main sign can't send back control. One of the some no me no one. And some no kind of see oh Shining Star no or person come make Gina I fan say or much to a mono. Almost say another sound beba. Okay, sir, we know kind of say like she want to put them and ask them questions, you know. They are not ready. Court and by force. Now I would have 2020 elections I call it. Chachuchi Kata wanted your was a Jameson to come and testify. Mo ka kire say mo man kwan man omegina box and yento na toko no ka movie na ene obi a Shining Star no so me or my testify because and you can just write affidavit in support of your friend's initial petition and the court will sit on it. That is what I'm telling you, say. You see, if or you be a sense of shame because you will not be putting that package of nonsense that she put out there yesterday.
Press conference.
It's just she was just manufacturing nonsense and attempting to sell same to Ghanaians, but we are not ready to buy it. And again, I say president establishing the premier facia, no president Ed, and I'm asking her and challenging her as a Supreme Court judge, say. Constitution article being a president breach here because Mugabe yati the constitution is very vague in its interpretation dealing with some of these. It says the president will receive a petition and forward same to Council of State to establish merit credence and make sure the threshold within which something can be identified as a petition or qualified. Yeah. President J and all forwarded the same to Council of State. Mamen can say yati there is no single constitutional procedure be a certain emotional regularizing how premier facia should be established. All that we know is the president receive a petition for it to Council of State. That has always been the process. Yet there are any probably a president I the same process. You have the gut to come to the public space and say you are being handed for the and nobody even wanted to resign at this point. We want to get to the bottom of this particular matter. And again, also President Asane a warrant of way on Tiasia. You see, this woman is a joke. Mugabe tie, my time tie. So, constitution, you know, it's quite clear. We don't need to go to law school and say what I say. Constitution is say. So, Council of State established the premier facia, which means credence has been established. And the next line, I say, and set up a committee. So, President set a committee. Then there is a constitutional discretionary injunction on the president to exercise either to suspend the woman or let her stay. That power is solely rested with the president. Nobody can exercise that power apart from the president. So, this is the power that president has exercised. Then the Chief Justice go on public and say what? I think she should give us a break. And again, last one. Or say, I'm on for a threatening is on resigning. Now, will be a Chief Justice will be threatening press conference. Why didn't you go to the police? Fantastic. So you see, I think that what she did was an attention shopping stunt. Something or try to blackmail the president. But trust me, John Mahama a mistake now of falling for some of these things. Now, now or institute woman where pressure no so I think is bigger than the one who pay because Ghanaians are more say sanitize your judiciary. You don't change or no more fighting for. We want the judiciary to be sanitized, and for me that is what we are looking out for.